This research project studies the operational components, the specific applications, the strengths and weaknesses, and the perceptions of the users of the integrated library system Polaris. The research group included in this group includes Thomas Ahearn, Elizabeth B., Erin Orr Ragsdale, and Kimberly Vicent. The Polaris Integrated Library System is used currently in the St. Tammany Parish Public Library System. The purpose of the research performed by this group was to find the strengths and the weaknesses of the Polaris ILS, while also providing an analysis of the system and its components. The Polaris Integrated Library System was launched in 1997. It was launched in Syracuse, New York, and it is considered one of the original inventors of the automation industry. It was developed using the client-server architecture, which was emerging as the preferred computing environment to succeed the terminal-based systems of the previous generation. It is one of the first integrated library systems to demonstrate an online catalog based on AJAX, which stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML technology. AJAX has the ability to provide users with features beyond what's possible with standard HTML, as well as to enable faster response to users' queries. This technology gives people the ability to make requests to the server for small pieces of data. Basically, this allows a way for users to get updated pieces of information without having to refresh the entire page that they're looking at. Polaris is an open database, even though it is considered proprietary. This means that Polaris works well with outside vendors because the library using Polaris can find and add additional features from an outside source, or they can make changes as the library sees necessary. The operational components that we looked at were the acquisitions component, the serials component, the cataloging component, the patron services component, and the circulation component. The acquisitions component allows the library to place orders for books through a selection list, and you would just click on that. This is what the Polaris interface looks like from a staff member's perspective. It includes an option to create purchase orders, invoices, price lists, and to provide a list of current finds that a patron may have. Once an order has been made within a public library system, everyone in the system that's using Polaris can see that that order has been made. The serials component focuses on the tracking of the library's magazine and newspaper holdings. And if you're a staff member using the Polaris screen, you would just click on serials and it would give you the option to track those lists. The cataloging component allows for the creation, the modification, and the searching of item records, bibliographic records, or for the creation of record sets of items within a collection. It also allows librarians to connect to OCLC to retrieve bibliographic records for copy cataloging. Once again, you would just click on the cataloging section. Patron Services provides for the searching of patron records and the creation of record sets of patrons within a library. And the circulation component allows for the librarian to check in and check out books, check the status of patrons, and to manage the status of patron hold requests. This component also includes the request manager or holds, which provides access to the ILL or interlibrary loan module. When we conducted our interviews, we researched which component was used most frequently by the staff members, and it was determined that circulation and cataloging were the two components used the most frequently. And then another staff member for acquisitions and serials. The reason that the numbers differ from the number of participants is due to mixed responses within questions. The research group chose to interview a variety of individuals that work with Polaris in the St. Tammany Public Library system, either as staff members or as patrons who use the OPAC for personal accounts. 13 individuals were interviewed. The research group crafted 3 sets of interview questions for 3 distinct groups. These groups were Group A, administration, managers, or Polaris committee members; Group B, other library staff; and Group C, library patrons. User Group A. It included 5 staff members. It included library employees in public relations, acquisitions, cataloging, and the children's department. Of these participants, 1 is also a Polaris committee member. Previous positions held by these staff members include children's librarian, large and small branch manager, a library associate, and a system administrator. User Group B consisted of 3 participants. They also served in a variety of positions, including a reference librarian, a teen librarian, and a library associate in the circulation department. The 2 librarians were library associates in the past. The years of staff employment ranged from 2 years to 30 years experience. User Group C. It consisted of 5 patrons. These included library patrons who have used the online catalog to perform searches, place holds, and or access their account. Now, the questions for Group A are the following. Do you find Polaris to be user-friendly, and is it easy to train staff? Which modules or components do you use, and with what frequency? Do the modules interact smoothly? What are the primary functions that Polaris performs? Is Polaris / Innovative Interfaces Incorporated responsive to your problems, requests, and suggestions? Is Polaris Innovative Interfaces Incorporated responsive to your problems, requests, and suggestions? When did your organization implement Polaris, and was it a smooth transition? Has it proven to be an improvement over the previous system? Why did your organization choose Polaris rather than another ILS? What impact has Polaris had on your library's efficiency and or effectiveness? What impact has Polaris had on user satisfaction? Has your organization performed user studies, and if so, what were the results? What impact has Polaris had on the staff and daily operation of your organization? Do you have any additional comments? The questions set for Group B, the other staff members, are: do you find Polaris to be user-friendly? Which modules or components do you use, and with what frequency? Do the modules interact smoothly? What are the primary functions that Polaris performs? What are Polaris' strengths and weaknesses? When did your organization implement Polaris, and was it a smooth transition? Has it proven to be an improvement over the previous system? What impact has Polaris had on your library's efficiency and or effectiveness? What impact has Polaris had on user satisfaction? What impact has Polaris had on the staff and daily operation of your organization? Do you have any additional comments? And then the question set for Group C, which was the patrons. How frequently do you use the St. Tammany Parish Library online catalog? Do you find the online catalog to be user-friendly? What activities have you done on the online catalog and were they easily accomplished in the system? Why or why not? Some of the examples that were provided if the patrons needed them: searching for items, placing holds, placing interlibrary loan requests, accessing your personal account to renew items, check on holds or to check items out, update contact information, and to review your reading history. What are the system's strengths and weaknesses? Would you recommend this service to another library user? Why or why not? And do you have any additional comments? This is actually the screen that the patrons would see when they're using Polaris and using the online catalog. We were able to put our interview question types into 7 different types, including user-friendly. Was Polaris user-friendly? Was there good module interaction? The system's strengths and weaknesses. Was the system responsive to the user? Did the system have smooth transitions? How much user satisfaction or impact was there? And any positive or negative additional comments? And we found that overwhelmingly the response was positive from all 7 question types. The strengths of Polaris were found through the company brochure, other literature that we found through research, and from the user response. And the main strengths that we found through the brochure were that it is designed for change. It is a multi-tier client-server architecture that allows for updates in one tier without affecting the others. Polaris has demonstrated success in automating large libraries. Other literature that we've researched, we found that Polaris has earned outstanding rankings for an ILS for company and support satisfaction from 2007 to 2010. It has excellent relationships with the company and it has good customer service with the staff and patrons that use it. The overall design of the system was viewed as a strength. It was built as an open database, and the effectiveness for print and electronic resources. The user responses that we found as strengths were the robust functionalities to support traditional library services, multiple ways to perform tasks, icon, keyboard command, text menu, right-clicking. There's great searching capabilities. It's very easy to navigate and to use. Third-party software has been integrated well. There's ability to track a patron's reading list. It's flexible. It has forward thinking. The modules interact smoothly. It's very smooth and intuitive. It's very responsive to user input. There are frequent and high quality updates made on the system, and it's a reliable system. There were strengths found in several areas, but 2 that we focused on through the interview responses were that users were satisfied and that it was very user-friendly. We see that for user satisfaction, 25 users said yes, or it was positive, only 3 negative responses. For is it user-friendly, you had 12 positive responses and you only had 3 negative responses. The weaknesses of Polaris, through literature, we found that libraries have had mixed experiences with usability and migrating the system into their library. One of our research group members, Kim Vicent, actually works with Polaris, and she feels that the interlibrary loan module is largely ignored in terms of updates, and she sees that as a weakness. The users found that it was not very intuitive and it was hard to find things when you first start out. Some participants found the multiple steps required to complete a task clunky. Some also felt that the multiple means of accessing information could be confusing, especially for new staff. Certain searches can be a hassle. There were multiple ways to complete tasks, and that could be confusing. Specificity of research. If you spell a word wrong, it might not yield the proper results or yield no results at all. And cataloging. It will not recognize some material types. In our conclusion, integrated library systems are meant to manage the various needs of a library system through an integrated set of applications, including acquisitions, cataloging, circulation, and the provision of public access. The overwhelmingly positive responses to the interview questions support those claims. The users of St. Tammany Parish Library have expressed their satisfaction with Polaris's ability to manage the records and processes necessary to efficiently and effectively serve the internal and external needs of the library. Thank you very much.